Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into the show today. Now, today's episode, we're going around the net with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. So, on the docket for today, we have some follow-up for all those who had the Spirit Airlines credit card. See what's happening to your points. We have a new crypto card from Aven, who's been on a run lately of at least somewhat interesting products. We even Chase in the news tweaking the Sapphire line potentially, and we'll close with the continued assimilation of Discover into Capital One. So, of course, if any of that sounds interesting to you, go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. Now we'll lead off over with Bank of America. Bank of America holds the Spirit Airlines credit cards, and as we talked about last week, Spirit Airlines is no more. If you go to the credit card landing page, the Spirit landing page is still up, weirdly enough, but if you click apply, it will just take you to an error page. If this is Bank of America has an issue on their side, I guess there's no one left at Spirit to take down the landing page. But anyways, you can't apply for the cards, which is a good thing. Now, if you have a current card, well, what's up with that? So if you take a look at this, Bank of America sent this out. As you may be aware, Spirit Airlines ended operations on May 2nd. It's a nice way to say they just went under. They have questions. What does it mean for you? So your Spirit Airlines MasterCard still is open and active. You can still use it if you want. And their account is still with Bank of America. There's nothing you need to do right now. So you can still use the card. As they said, it doesn't really tell you a whole heck of a lot. Weirdly enough, the card did have an annual fee. There was an annual fee version. What I've seen is folks been able to phone in, play the game of Get Me to a Supervisor, and then they can get a refund for the annual fee. But Bank of America isn't offering refunds freely. You have to phone in and you have to get one. I don't know what the time span is on that. I mean, if you were like in month 11 of 12 of that annual fee, then perhaps they might prorate it for you. I don't know. I didn't know if there would really be too many people here. Also, the thing about Spirit points. Well, the thing about points is points have no value unless redeemed, so I don't believe any of those points will be owed to anyone, which is unfortunate, but it's one of the reasons the issuers have it set up that way. So there's no value. So there's no value. There's nothing we owed you. So the points are likely gone. So there you go for those holding a Spirit card. Now, if you don't like Spirit or you didn't like Spirit and you're glad to see them gone, you might like Alaska Airlines. That's good because you can stick with Bank of America, who's sending out a survey for their Alaska Airlines. They're called the Atmos Rewards cards. But again, it was started with Alaska. It was Alaska and Hawaii now is under Atmos. Anyways, this survey is for the business card. It's interesting. We'll put it on screen for you. There's likely multiple versions of the survey, of course. We grabbed this one from Doc, but the cards, the Atmos line hasn't been out long enough, I would think, to just want to refresh it right away. Of course, it's a survey, but anyways, here you go. Now, we do have one lady in the shot there. She looks very happy. We like to see happy people. Even in the survey, it could mean a good sign. We'll see. So again, the annual fee is $1.95 on this version. The current annual fee, I think, is $80, so definitely a hike to be sure. So what are you going to get? We can skip all that. Elevate your travel experience. 4 Alaska passes. They're valuing it at $250, one per quarter. You're going to get a free check bag. I think you get that now. You get your TSA pre-global entry. Same day confirmed change fee waiver, travel delay protections, $50 vouchers. For same-day cancellation or 2+ hours. That's 10 points for every dollar spent on flights booked through Atmos for business. 3 back, Alaska and Hawaiian Airlines. 2 back for dining, and then 1 back on everything else. You've got some status points you can earn, 50% global discount. I mean, overall, this kind of just makes it a little bit more complicated. If you look at the current version, it doesn't really have any of that, but noticeably the business one, it does have that $99 companion fare benefit. Get a $99 companion fare, plus tax, of course, and fees from $23 each anniversary year after spending $6,000 or more on purchases. Again, it's a little bit of spend, but it is a business card. So for me, I think this really just overcomplicates a simple card. For this version, I think they might be better served as making a second business version if they really wanted to do this. Because this, again, the current annual fee is about $80, I want to say. This just overcomplicates it. Plus, I don't think there's a whole heck of a lot here. There's a lot of words and bullet points in this survey, but I don't see how you're getting back that $195. Sure, some stuff, yeah, but I don't really see it, so I would prefer they just stick with the normal one. But again, the Atmos Summit, the top tier personal Atmos, I think that's a really good card as is. So the business one, never been a huge fan of, but it wasn't bad. This one, not so great. So you can let me know what you think down below of those potential changes. And moving right along, we move to Aven, they started out with that HELOC credit card a few years back, and they've got a few other products. Now they have a Bitcoin card out. If you take a look at this, I believe it's gold, so it looks gold to me. But really what it is a card where if you stash your Bitcoin with BitGo Bank and Trust, which is a licensed institutional custodian, I believe your credit limit is based off the loan to value. They call it loan to value for how much Bitcoin you have with them. You're almost kind of like staking the money, you leave it with them. So it's kind of like very similar to their HELOC credit card, except for Bitcoin. But overall, nothing really to see here. I think others have done Bitcoin cards better. We should probably revisit the Aven product lineup. I was never a big fan of the HELOC card. I remember they reached out one time and they asked, like, hey, would you be interested in like talking about this? And I had already published an opinion video on Aven, and I told them that, and they're like, well, yeah, you could just, change some words. And like that's really annoying to me, because you know how YouTube works. Once the video's out there, we can cut sections after a video is published, which you can't change something once a video is already published. And they know that as well. They just didn't want to be the ones to say take it down or remove the negative things that you said. So that was an instant pass for me. But yeah, because I didn't really think I like the innovation of what they do. This one is not too innovative, but overall, I do know they have some other cards that folks have talked about, so we could take a look at those if folks are interested. This one, not much to see here. I think some of the other crypto cards have actually done it significantly better than this and offer more without having to tie up your money. Presumably, I guess they're going for folks who have a ton of crypto, but maybe not a ton of liquid funds, or they don't want to sell it, so it's a way for them to still have access to cash and buy things. Again, like the HELOC, but not a fan. So moving right along to some of the tried and true blue chips, literally blue, is the House of Diamond. We've got two stories. We start with the Sapphire Preferred. The Sapphire Preferred is quietly ending their 10% anniversary points bonus that they had on the card. This really wasn't a benefit that we talked about too much, because it wasn't really that amazing, because as you know, the Sapphire card is pretty meh, for those of you who want to put that on a t-shirt one day. So you're not really going to put a ton of spend on that card anyways. It's really a card that you just hold for the insurance or to be able to transfer your ultimate reward points to you Hyatt lovers out there. But if we take a look at this, I believe his upgraded points had this again. So if you're unfamiliar with how it worked, you get 10% anniversary points on the Sapphire Preferred each anniversary year, so starting year number 2. So Chase would tack on that 10%, and they would calculate it based on what you spent, of course, now on the previous year. But the math worked out to be about 1 point per $10 you spent. So again, you're not really going to earn a ton of points, especially given what you would be buying on the card. So Chase has confirmed that it's going away. There's a media statement in there. It doesn't really say a whole heck of a lot, so we won't bother with it. I don't think there's much to do about anything really, other than that this is like year 5 of me saying the Sapphire Preferred is really in dire need of a refresh. I'm actually surprised we haven't seen one yet. Last year was the year of the Sapphire Reserve. If we were gonna see one, I think we would have seen it. Weirdly enough, we also didn't see the elevated offer for the Sapphire Preferred. I think I saw an email maybe for one, but it wasn't like widespread. Normally they have the come in branch, you can get 80 to 100,000 points. That usually starts in April to kick off like spring travel and spring break. We haven't seen it at all. If we were going to see the refresh of the card, I would have thought we would have seen it by now. So apparently we're still going to have to wait on that. I don't think this is a big hit by any means. I think there's just significantly better ways to spread your spend out. But don't worry, Chase is going to make up for it if you have the Big Brother card. Well, we think they're going to make up for it. So the Sapphire Reserve, of course, there was a page that went live earlier than it should have, and it makes mention of an Apple One credit. So you can load in, I think behind the scenes, you can link your Sapphire Reserve to your Apple account, and it will cover, I think it was Apple Music or part of Apple One. Well, now they're also going to, here, I'll put the terms up there for you that were highlighted. So if you have an active paid Apple One subscription, that's like Apple's bundle of services, purchase directly through Apple, and you've activated your Apple TV. That's what it was. Apple TVs is what they give you. Chase.com. Then, so you have both of those, you'll automatically receive a $7.50 discount for your Apple One subscription starting on your next billing period. So that's been pulled. So I imagine it's coming soon that they're going to add. Now that's not terrible. I mean, I don't have Apple One, I don't have Apple TV, but if you have either, I mean, you probably have Apple TV from the Sapphire benefit. If you have Apple One, knocking $7.50 off, not too bad at all. It's really just going to be up to you if you have it or you want to try it. And again, I think the services they have, I forget what they have in there, but it's not too bad. I do wonder if we're going to see more of this for things that come with their extended partnership now that they're getting the Apple Card. So that could be hopeful. So not bad. Again, it's not out yet. That was pulled pretty quick. So we'll have to see when that goes live. We will, of course, tell you. Now, last story of the day, Discover Capital One news. Of course, last week we had Capital One finally, after ages and ages, refreshing the Quicksilver card, giving it some more multipliers. Still a 1.5% card, unfortunately, but it's also 3-back dining, 3-back gas. Now it looks like they are going to be pulling over the Discover It cards underneath the Capital One umbrella. I have a Discover It card. I did not get this email, but that's okay because the internet exists, so you can see what they're doing here. I've seen longer ones posted, but the gist of it, you have it on screen. Keep using your card and managing your account as normal. On the next few months, you'll get more information from both Discover and Capital One, including details about new benefits and how you'll manage your account moving forward. July 24th to 26th, we'll finish setting up your card account with Capital One. And there you go. On the 27th, you'll be good to go through the Capital One website. So from a user perspective, really not that bad. We've seen this happen before. From a banking perspective, I could have sworn they were going to leave the two brands separate when they bought them, but it really makes sense. Why would you want to maintain two portals, given Capital One has a wide range of catalog cards if you count the co-branded stuff. Discover has a few, Discover It Cash, the Miles, the Student. I think they had a Chrome one as well, and a secured one. But again, it just makes more sense. Why manage two products? I would imagine if the deposit accounts haven't started moving over, they will also move. Just kind of makes sense. The real noteworthy thing here is that it says we'll let you know about your new benefits. People get excited about that. I don't hate to be a killjoy, especially on our anchor story, but card issuers tend to claim everything as a benefit. Every single thing added to Apple Wallet, that's a benefit. Purchase protection. Yes, technically those are benefits, but those are table minimums, table stakes benefits. You can't, no one, well, I'm sure someone would, but most of us would not pick a card if it didn't have those table stakes. Some of them are required to have it. So I don't believe this is going to be some massive refresh of the Discover lineup. Discover, even though, yes, technically they're under Big Brother Capital One now, they've never cared about being competitive. They've never tried. They do have the best customer service for cards that I've seen, but I don't think it's going to be that. Capital One, just after decades of letting the Quicksilver age away, finally did something. So in the future, maybe, but right now I don't think it's going to do anything to Discover It Cash. The one thing I do think it would do is now free up Discover It Cash to be able to move points over to your Venture X setup. That could be something. It could breathe some new life into a category card that folks are generally kind of over. I myself have one, and the intro offer, as you know, is pretty good. It's like an $800. If you time it right, I think you can get like $700-800 out of it with the referral. For a free product is pretty good, but I haven't really touched it since. So I definitely think they could do something like that. Afterwards, I think the era of the rotating category card is about over, and Citi made sure to do that with the custom cash. But again, I just don't really think banks seem to compete as hard as we want. I would like them to change it to something else more useful, but of course I'm biased. So if I get an email or I see anything else, I'll let you know. It's weird that I haven't got one. Again, they keep sending me emails to remember to use your cards. Maybe make the categories good, then we'll talk. But anyways, that's what you've got for Discover, and for the news for this week. So, of course, if you liked it, drop me a thumbs up down below. If you found it particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel. So we're posting content just like this every single week. Of course, right back every Sunday with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. And, of course, every single day over on ProfitableContent.com, which is, of course, the channel's blog, always linked down below for you, where we have the latest news stories just like this. We have some bank promotions, a few from Capital One that we've posted, and credit card offers. I believe we have a Discover card up there as well. So go get that one before they make the underwriting harder, just like Capital One's is. But anyways, guys, that'll do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you very soon in the next one.